Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Celebrating Today, Building Tomorrow, honoring Birch at 45. A virtual community gathering to mark the 45th anniversary of Birch Family Services. I'm Linda Schmidt with Fox 5 News, and I am going to be your host tonight for this event, which is culminating, by the way, a 45-day fundraising and communication campaign. So thank you to everyone for participating tonight. We know that it's been such a difficult time, not just for the country, but for the world since March. So for you to take time out of your very busy schedules to do this and participate and to donate and help Birch Family Services, it is greatly, greatly appreciated. It is great to see so many of you joining us virtual. This is our new world now, right? We do this at work all the time now with Zooms and virtual meetings, and I'm sure many of you are doing the exact same thing. One of the things here that I want to express to you is that Birch Family Services, it empowers individuals with autism and developmental disabilities. And what it does is it helps them to lead fulfilling lives. And what I'm talking about is it provides education, employment, life skills training, family support, and residential services to more than 2,000 people. That's a lot, more than 2,000 people with disabilities and their families at 30 locations, not just in Manhattan, but also in Queens, Brooklyn, and the Bronx. Now, last year, for those of you who were there, I had the privilege and the honor to be able to host the Spring Gala. And it was my first time doing it. And what I loved about it is I really had the opportunity to talk to some of the parents and their children about how Birch Family Services has made such a tremendous difference in their lives. You know, when you're somebody who goes through life and you feel like you're not being seen and you're not being recognized, it can be very lonely. It can be a very lonely experience. So to be able to have an organization like this, to be able to help these families and their children lead a more fulfilling life, provides them with so much hope and reassurance. And that's really one of the best gifts that you can give anybody, is hope. So that's why I love this organization. It's one of the many reasons. Tonight, we're also going to be hearing from members of the Birch community, including the leadership team, members of the board of directors, and the staff, and some of the people that the organization supports, as well as their families, who I was just talking to you about. Now, we're also going to be hearing from two very special honorees, longtime supporters, Dr. Ronald and Jean Rowett, who, by the way, I had the privilege of sitting with last year. And it was a pleasure to meet and speak with them as well. And also honoree Scott Simon, who is the host of NPR's Weekend Edition, and he is an author. And lastly, a little bit later on in the program, we're all going to be able to show our support of Birch by either texting a gift or donating online. So be prepared for that. And that's also very, very important, because that's how this organization is able to provide the services that are just so instrumental in people's lives, is by people like you donating and helping them out. Right now, we are going to hear from several board members, Birch's CEO, Matt Sturiali, as well as Jennifer GEIB, who is Daniel's mom. But first up, we are going to hear from Nick JEREZ, who serves as the chair of the Development Committee and secretary of the board of directors. Take it away, Nick.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Nick JEREZ, Secretary of the Birch Family Services Board of Directors. It's my honor and pleasure to welcome all of you to Birch's 45th anniversary celebration. Whether you're a longstanding member of the Birch community or have just been introduced to Birch, we're proud to be able to celebrate this milestone with all of you. Tonight's theme is celebrating our history, imagining our future. In that spirit, we'll recognize everyone whose vision, leadership, and actions have been central to supporting this event, Birch's work, and individuals with autism and disabilities overall. Scott Simon, NPR journalist and author of SUNNYSIDE PLAZA, will be presented with the Voices of Hope Award. The Birch Family Services 2020 Legacy Award will be presented to Dr. and Mrs. Ronald and Jean Rowett. Dr. Rawit is a psychiatrist who has provided services to individuals and their families for many years. Jean Rawit is an author and long-serving member of the Birch Family Services Board of Directors. Tonight, we've recognized their leadership, expertise, and volunteerism, which have contributed so much to Birch's success. And to all the incredible guest speakers joining us tonight, thank you. Lastly, I have a request. Have fun and enjoy the celebration. If you have any questions, suggestions, or just want to say hi, you can find me in the sidebar lobby of your screens. Thank you again for listening. Now join me in watching a short video on Birch's early years.
Since its beginnings as an early provider of special education programs, Birch Family Services has been at the forefront of a national movement to recognize the civil rights of people with autism and developmental disabilities and their families. Our founder, Phyllis L. Susser, established Birch's first school in 1975, the same year Congress passed legislation that would become known as the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA.
The organization was founded on the premise that children with developmental needs had the right to a fair and appropriate education.
Named for her mentor, the Herbert G. Birch School for Exceptional Children opened its doors in Queens with just 28 students and 11 teachers. Over the next 5 decades, what would become Birch Family Services grew from that single classroom into a provider of educational and community support serving more than 2,000 individuals each year in 30 locations in Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, and the Bronx.
Some of the most rewarding things are when a child comes in and they have very little language, or it's really difficult to understand them, and then you have them for a year, 2 years, and you can understand them. They're using full sentences, or they're using phrases, but they're putting words together to be easily understood. A stranger can understand what they're saying.
Understanding the value of special education and clinical services for young children, we expanded to include early childhood services by establishing our first preschool in Springville Gardens, Queens in 1982. This important milestone shed a light on the lack of supports and resources available to children with developmental disabilities and their families. In response, we expanded options available to children and families through the opening of several preschool programs in the 1980s and 1990s in diverse communities like Mill Basin, East Flatbush, Long Island City, Washington Heights, and Riverdale.
We service children ages 3 to 5 with special needs, and we also have a typically developing program that serves UPK students 3 and 4 years old and early learn students with extended day aftercare.
All children deserve an equal opportunity at receiving a free and appropriate public education, and intervening with children early provides them with the greatest opportunity for success. Today, Birch is one of the largest early childhood providers for children with special needs in New York State, with 8 locations. Our focus is on quality and innovative practices that enable children to thrive in the least restrictive environments with the right amount of supports.
She's having fun and she's learning. She's reading. She can spell her name. She's doing things that she wasn't doing at the beginning of the school year. And I really just appreciate all their hard work.
Our school-age special education program engages students in behavioral and emotional supports, academics, life skills training, work-based learning, and vocational training opportunities to prepare and transition to adult life. We are committed to providing seamless education and transitional services for children ages 3 through 21.
One of the reasons that we're talking now is because Birch has provided us as a family so much support that we feel like there's nothing we wouldn't do to try to help, sustain Birch. I mean, 45 years, I've met people who've been at Birch for 45 years.
In all our programs, nothing is more important than having our partnership with families. Having a child with special needs requires that they have support to navigate a complex education and healthcare system responsive to their child's needs. We work to give them the tools that will empower them to be their child's best advocate. Together, we work to fulfill our mission: empower people with autism and developmental disabilities to lead fulfilling lives.
Good evening, everyone. I'm speaking to you from northern Manhattan, where the sun is still shining. Here each day, Birch is carrying out its mission to empower individuals with autism and developmental disabilities to lead full lives. Our founder, Phyllis Susser, in 1975, after the passing of the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, which gave children the right to a free and appropriate public education, did not believe that children with developmental disabilities was going to get a fair chance within the New York City school system. It was based on that concept that she founded our organization, and that was the beginning of our journey to support people across their lives in so many different ways. In response to the Willowbrook consent judgment in 1975, Birch once again led the way, creating residential programs that afforded individuals living in institutions such as Willowbrook to live in local communities with their family and friends. This was about creating opportunity, creating access, and ensuring equity. In response to the need of the growing number of young adults on the autism spectrum in need of supports and services after finishing school, Birch Family Services has led the way through the creation of our New Frontier program, a program that provides opportunities for individuals to develop a life plan, seek employment, make social connections, maintain good health, and be independent in their living environment. In response to the pandemic, something that none of us have ever seen in our lifetime, once again, Birch Family Services has led the way. We've kept the individuals in our residential programs safe. We've supported people living in the community, assisting their families, as well as ensuring that they had virtual support. We supported those who had to adjust to working differently or possibly being laid off or furloughed. We created remote learning environments for our children to learn and thrive in our schools. We treated those individuals who got sick. We grieved those individuals who we lost. It's been wonderful reflecting on the last 45 years, celebrating our achievements today, and thinking about tomorrow. And I believe that the future is very bright and hopeful for the organization, but more importantly, for the individuals and families whom we support. We will continue to be a leading education provider in New York City for people with autism and developmental disabilities. We will continue to expand our school-age services for those in need of a free and appropriate public education. We will continue to look at early childhood initiatives that ensure that every child gets the best shot of learning in the least restrictive environment. We will continue to ensure that people will live in the community, people can live with their families and get the supports that they need. And along that line, you will see us continue to look at new housing options, not just supervised residences, but supportive housing and other kinds of creative alternatives based upon what individuals want. People want to work, and our New Frontier program, along with other initiatives, will look at those opportunities in employment, socialization and social connections, and independent living to be able to provide options in those areas so that people can lead full lives into the future. At the end of the day, our goal is to continue to create access, facilitate opportunities, and ensure equity. 45 years later, this is still what we're doing. Thank you for doing your part. Thank you for helping Birch Family Services do our part. Have a great evening.
Good evening. I'm Alan Goldberg, first and foremost a Birch parent, Birch board member, and a huge believer in what Birch does for children and adults with autism. My wife Jackie and I are so pleased to be celebrating Birch Family Services' 45th anniversary with all of you tonight, and we know firsthand how Birch Family Services puts their mission into practice. Sam was diagnosed with autism on his second birthday. He started at Birch's Washington Heights School at 5 years old, and when he was 8, moved to the Susser School in Queens, where he will graduate this coming June at age 21. For the past 8 years, Birch Family Services has hosted an annual 5K run and walk in the fall. This community event brings together people from across the organization, board members, corporate partners, and other supporters, elected officials, staff, our families, to raise critical funds to support the work that we do. While moving this year's race to a virtual event was a challenge, it enabled us to expand our reach beyond New York City. As a result, 120 people from across the nation participated in this year's event. With your support, we raised over $70,000, smashing our $45,000 goal way beyond our wildest expectations. Congratulations to our winners, Jim Pastor, Alana Margulies Snyderman, and our top running team, my team, Team Sammy. We had a great time presenting the awards and celebrating at our virtual finish line party on the 15th. I'm going to leave you with one thing we think about every day. Sam's favorite Birch shirt says it all. Sam is proud to be me. We are proud of Sam, proud to be part of Birch, and thank you again from the bottom of our hearts.
I'm Robin Keller, Chairman of the Board of Directors of Birch Family Services, and importantly, mother of Gabriel Kogan, who is a graduate of Birch's School for Exceptional Children and a young man currently benefiting from the job training and placement services, life support, and social opportunities provided post-graduation by Birch's New Frontier program. There are many people who help Birch Family Services provide the best care, guidance, and training to our students, residents, their families, and our staff. A key group of you are our sponsors, who have added a significant level of financial support to the other important supports and services you provide to Birch. You are board members, old and new, corporate sponsors, vendors who provide services to our business, professionals who advise us. On behalf of Birch Family Services, I want to recognize and express the thanks and gratitude of all of us to our sponsors. Board members, including George and Anita Varghese, the family of Michael Brescher, Jay Indike and family, our honorees this year, Dr. Ronald Rowett and Jean Rowett, Judith and Robert Fulmer, Himani Goji and Samir Gadre, Kim and Carl Hernes, and also to our corporate sponsors, Alliant Employee Benefits, Pfizer, Lamb Insurance Services, and the Omer Foundation, and J. Fialkoff and Iris Fishman. Our vendors and service providers are ProBuild Contracting, Inc., TGI Office Automation, Vasilati Associates Architects, Province, the Weeks Lerman Group, and GNet Construction Corp. And our professional advisors, thanks to the firm of Jackson Lewis, to Mr. Stephen Freeman, and to the firm of Marit, Hawk, and Hamroff. And last but not least, thanks to our CEO, Matt Sturiali, a sponsor among all of his many other roles, Michelle Clayman, a friend of Birch, and my own family, the Keller Kogan family. Thank you all for being here to support us, and please enjoy the gala.
At Birch Family Services, our mission is to empower individuals with autism and developmental disabilities to lead fulfilling lives. When we think about empowerment, we think about what we're doing to give people the tools they need to succeed. That's the Birch Impact. For 45 years now, Birch has been at the forefront of helping people with developmental disabilities accomplish their individual goals. Our Community Services Division offers a range of services, including residential programs, community skills building programs to facilitate independence, and pre-vocational and employment services to help people find jobs, internships, or volunteer opportunities.
Teaching them new things, teaching them a way of life. You actually become a student yourself because they actually can teach you a few things as well.
As part of our commitment to service provision across the life cycle, Birch offers adults the opportunity to live independently from their families. Residential opportunities are person-centered, and we work closely with each person and their family members to determine the right environment and appropriate level of supports to ensure success.
Laundry, ironing, making salads, and so much more. I love my PSP staff members and everything else.
Between 2000 and 2009, Birch responded to the sharply growing need for residential, day, and family support services in Brooklyn and Queens, with the development of 6 new small residential programs addressing the complexity of the people we support. We also opened 2 2 day habilitation programs for adults graduating from school but not yet ready for employment.
The managers have always been accessible to me, answering any questions. It's a small organization, so I get to know everybody. It feels like a family.
Birch also recognized the challenges some families experience trying to care for children with complex needs in the home. To address this rising area of concern, in 2010, we established an all-inclusive school and children's residential program for children ages 10 through 21. As long as there's a need, Birch Family Services will rise to meet it, listening to people, offering choice in the provision of services, sharing clinical expertise, leading advocacy efforts, and shaping the future with participation from all stakeholders, built over 45 years of experience. And we don't plan on stopping now.
Hello, I'm Jennifer GEIB, and my son recently graduated from Classroom 3 at Riverdale Early Childhood Center. My son Daniel entered Birch with no prior school experience. He needed the most help with his social and emotional well-being. He also received help from speech therapy, occupational therapy, and physical therapy. But his biggest weakness was with social emotional. He really needed to learn how to play with his peers. Daniel was really excited to start school. He wanted to make new friends and meet all of his teachers, but it wasn't always an easy transition as he had some behavioral problems, but with the help of all the staff, he was able to excel and succeed. Birch helped Daniel reach his goals by providing him all the supports that he needed inside the classroom, as well as helping his family learn how to deal with his challenges at home so that there was a smooth transition between the classroom and home life. Our time at Birch made us feel like we were part of the community and part of the family. They saw beyond what was written on a piece of paper about our children. They supported the whole child. They held their hands through everything, and they also supported the families as well. So we had a deeper connection, especially as we invited each other into our homes during remote learning on Zoom. I want to thank the staff for everything that you've given to us. Your ability to adapt to change is admirable, and you have set up our children on a path to success. You have given them an amazing educational foundation where they will be able to do anything and everything that they want to do in their lives.
I'm back. You didn't think that was the last of me, did you? I hope you're enjoying the evening and having a good time. Certainly seeing all the chats going on. Jennifer, thank you for telling Daniel's story. Thank you for sharing your story as a family member in your journey. Our families are the backbone of Birch. It's been the voices of our families and their children that rise up to be heard and ask us to help the children and adults that we support to lead full lives and achieve their dreams. Each year, you expect us to be the very best. In fact, you demand us to be the very best that we can be so that our services and supports are of the highest quality. At the end of the day, it's about partnerships, people coming together for a greater good. And that's what the Birch community is about. Our individuals, our families, our heroic staff, our allies, friends, business partners, corporate partners, our board of directors, everyone coming together to make a difference. So many different people make up the Birch community, and each and every one is important for what they bring, including all of you who joined us this evening. I hope you're feeling as inspired as I am by hearing some of the stories, seeing some of the accomplishments and achievements, and that you're ready to help based on what you've seen and heard. Because now is your opportunity to act. Now is your chance to make a difference. And it's going to be very easy for you to do. Please grab your phone and create a text message to the phone number 41444. In the message, write the word 45 Birch, your pledge amount, and your full name. For example, and you see it on the screen, 45 Birch, $500, the Brown family. Then hit send. You will instantly receive a text reply with a secure link for you to make your donation. You can also make a donation online if you prefer. The link is being shared in the chat room as we speak, and it's on the screen now. Once you've texted your gift, it will appear live on the screen before you. So make sure you've spelled your name correctly, and you may also give anonymously if you prefer. For anyone who is able to make a gift of $1,000 or more, or anyone who's already contributed such to support our Birch at 45 campaign at that level, you will be invited to a special post event immediately following this evening's festivities. You'll be with our 2 honorees. You will receive an email with a Zoom link, so be on the lookout for it, and I hope that you can join us. That said, a gift of any kind will be of importance to us. Any gift that you can give will have an impact, and we would love to see 100% participation from those joining us this evening. So let's see. Let's see if we're going to be able to begin to see some contributions. Keith Tomeo, $517. Bridget Waldron, $100. Samantha Nottingham, $50. Deborah and Michael Kogan, $517. Kathleen O'Sullivan, $103. Corey Krasuski, $250. Kathleen O'Sullivan, $103. Keep them coming. Steve Amend, $26. Thank you, Steve. Dan, I missed the last name. Oh, well. Deborah and Michael Kogan, we did that one. So far, we've got 23 people having made contributions. Arlene Johnson, $75. Thank you, Arlene. Anonymous, $25. Another anonymous gift, $25. Steve Amend, $26. John Eddy from Golden Solutions, $103. Thank you, John. Marsha Rodriguez, $52. Thank you, Marsha. Danette Hargraves, $26. Thank you, Danette. Christine Powell-Shea, $52. Arlene Kaplan's with Love, $218. Robin Keller, our board chair, $7,755. Thank you, Robin, for all that you do. Nick Jerez, great speech tonight, $517. Jordan Brown, $45. Tilson Crew, $30. Maggie from Pfizer, Team Pfizer, $1,034. Thank you, Maggie. Dan Menz, $35. Anna Skripansky, I can't see it because the thing went up. $52. Thank you, Anna. Alexander Hoskins. Elizabeth Varagese, $155. Thank you. Peter Fink. Denise Sturiali, that's one of my sisters, $25. Thanks, Denise. The Mikasa family, $50. Jennifer and Daniel. Rita Berkowitz, $103. Jennifer and Daniel GEIB, $103. Jim Costello, $1,000. Benjamin Nottingham, $650. Alexander Hoskins, $20. Josh Schur, our CFO, $310. Elizabeth Varagese. Steve Hartman, $60. This is unbelievable. Anonymous, $25. Juno Greaves, $52. Leah Ricardo. Abigail Carmel, $36. Paula Numa, $36. Talia Valerio, $259. Lisa Starantino, $103. You have 77 people have made contributions. The Solardo family, $100. Lucas Kane, $100. Jordan Brown, $45. Ladies and gentlemen, we reached our goal. Just so you know, keep them coming, but we reached our goal. Tilson Cruz, $30. Thank you so much, Tilson. Leli Techie, $250. Lourdes Fuentes Slater. That moved too quickly. Lourdes is one of our board members. She made a gift. Ludovica, $78. Lourdes Fuentes Slater, $2,500. Lisa Gilday, our Chief Operating Officer, $250. Kathleen Collins, Team Capolino, $250. Okay. Sharish Ghosh, $517. Doreen Panger, $52. Paula Wickham, $26. The McLeod family, $103. Stephen Keys, $52. This is unbelievable, folks. We've achieved the goal that we were hoping to achieve. Thank you so much. I see Sandra Austin coming in as well, and Lucille Golombowski, who was our nurse who managed us through this pandemic, 103. Thank you all for your generosity. Keep those gifts coming. I want you to know that the text to give opportunity, which we're up to 87 people right now, will continue for the next couple of days. So if you enjoy the rest of the evening and you continue to feel inspired and you want to feel generous, you know what to do. Go right back and make a pledge. Also, pass the word around. You may know other people that want to contribute. We do make a difference when we work together as an engaged and compassionate community, and that's what the Birch community is all about. Now I'm going to turn the show back over to Linda. We have some great people to recognize this evening and some more great video to share. So thank you again for all that you've done, and let's go back to you, Linda.
Text to Give will be open for the next few days, so it gives you the opportunity to donate again tomorrow or to share this information with your family and your friends, and maybe they might want to donate to this amazing organization to help Birch Family Services provide the services that are so desperately needed. So if you can, share it with your friends and family, and you can donate more than once. You can't vote more than once, but you can definitely donate more than once. Now, beyond giving money, the Birch Family Services community is known for its generous acts of compassion and kindness every single day. The organization supports one another in so many different ways, support that is made even more necessary and compelling in this moment that we are all living in right now. And now it is time to honor three remarkable people. First up, Birch board member and second vice chair Samir Gadra will present the Birch Family Services Legacy Award to two very special members of the Birch family, Dr. Ronald and Jean Rowett, two dear friends who have provided years of support and leadership to the organization as well as the individuals the organization supports. Then Executive Vice President BRIDGET Waldron, who provides leadership to Birch's Community Services Division, will present the Birch Family Services Voices of Hope Award to Scott Simon. Now, Scott Simon, I know, is familiar to many of you. He is the host of NPR's Weekend Edition and author of recently published SUNNYSIDE PLAZA, which is a story about 19-year-old Sally Miyake, who lives in a group home for people with developmental disabilities. And I really encourage you to try and read Scott's book. Tonight's awards will be followed by a moving video. It's a tribute to mark Birch's 45 years of service to the autism and developmental disabilities community, which I know you will enjoy. So right now, though, let's take the time to welcome Samir Gadra to the stage. Samir.
It is my distinct honor and pleasure to recognize longtime supporters of Birch, Dr. Ron and Jean Rowett. Dr. Ron is an adult, child, and adolescent psychiatrist with a private practice in New York City. He has dedicated his life to the most complex psychological and behavioral cases. He's been a mentor and a doctor to so many in the Birch community and beyond. Birch has greatly benefited from his expertise, kindness, and commitment to helping individuals with developmental disabilities lead fulfilling lives. Jean joined Birch's board of directors in 2005. She's been absolutely dedicated to finding ways of supporting Birch and improving the lives of people Birch serves, be it through personal contributions, board engagement, driving so many of the previous Birch events, advising leadership and staff, and always willing to roll up sleeves, like when she helped develop fundraising infrastructure for Birch from scratch. But above all, Ron and Jean are widely recognized as the warmest, kindest, and most humble people. They truly are the go-to people for friends and family at Birch. They have embraced the Birch mission and made it a part of their lives. They have supported Birch for over 15 years, in the good times and the bad, really setting the standard. They opened themselves and their homes to everyone around. Jean wanted me to keep this short and sweet, so without further ado, thank you so much from all of us at Birch. Congratulations, Dr. Ron and Jean Rowett, for being this year's honorees and recipient of the Birch Legacy Award.
What a lovely introduction. 15 years ago, Robin Keller introduced me to Birch, though Ron, through his work at Terence Cardinal Cook's Developmental Disabilities Clinic, had been seeing individuals from Birch as his patients for years. Aside from recognizing that the work Birch does fills a crucial need in our society and does it with enormous integrity and fierce determination to strive for excellence, what drew me to joining the board was recognizing that the people I'd be joining were deeply committed to working together to support and enhance Birch's mission in any way they could. As I've said over the years, and many of you have heard me say it many times, it's been an honor to be part of a group of such dedicated, caring, and generous people. The extraordinary Birch team, from leadership to frontline staff, who work every day to ensure that Birch's mission is carried out with incredible thoughtfulness and care, are always a source of inspiration. It's also been deeply gratifying that Ron has been able to continue to work with many of the people whom Birch supports and to work closely with Birch staff to help improve the functioning and quality of life of the people we serve. Being able to be something of a Birch team has enriched our lives together. I grew up with the traditional concept that each of us bears some responsibility to repair the world, to do what we can to make it better. Most of us don't get the chance to do this on a global scale, but each of us, in our individual ways, can do what we can to make a difference. As a former fundraiser, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank all of you who have contributed to our 45th anniversary season and who've supported us over the years, and to reach out to those of you who haven't yet and urge you to make a gift now. Giving today is your opportunity to immeasurably enrich the lives of other people, to do your part to heal the world, all without leaving the comfort of your own home. Ron and I wish we could have gathered all of our friends and family in one room to celebrate with us this evening. But we're virtually together now and thrilled to be part of this celebration of Birch's 45 years of service. Thank you for honoring us with this award, and we'll look forward to continuing to work together for many years to come. Thanks.
Good evening, everyone. I'm honored to present this year's Birch Family Services Voices of Hope Award to Scott Simon. If your house is anything like mine, Saturday morning means listening to Scott during NPR's Weekend Edition. And if you're a listener like me, you probably feel like you know Scott because of his unique ability to emotionally connect with his audience. Throughout his award-winning career, Scott has given a voice to countless stories that may not have otherwise been heard. He has reported from all 50 states, 5 continents, and 10 wars, from El Salvador to Sarajevo to Afghanistan and Iraq, and has written 9 books. Through all of these stories, Scott has brought us closer together by sparking understanding and compassion. Yet the most formative experience of his journalism career, Scott says, was working at a group home for people with disabilities in Chicago when he was 19 years old. This experience, he said, changed his life and also opened his eyes into seeing the world differently. It inspired his latest book, SUNNYSIDE PLAZA. As with every story he tells, with SUNNYSIDE PLAZA, Scott encourages us all to recognize ourselves in others. Through hero Sally's narration, we are reminded of each other's bravery, unique abilities, and shared humanity. Sally triumphs, but the world she lives in is starkly and thankfully different from ours. She does not have access to equal education or even outside friends and experiences, and must fight for all of these things. This reminds us all of how far we have come since Birch Family Services was founded 45 years ago, when the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act had just become law. Thankfully, today's children will not recognize this aspect of Sally's experience, but will instead celebrate how wonderful the world is when we are all given the opportunity to soar. Scott, thank you for being a voice of hope for us all. Birch Family Services is honored to present you with this award. Please join me in welcoming Scott Simon.
Hi there, Scott Simon here, and I want to thank you very much for this beautiful Voices of Hope Award. All I did was write a novel, a middle grade novel called SUNNYSIDE PLAZA, and it was inspired by an experience I had with a group of people who changed my life. I think at a time in my life when you expect all the formal things, school and class, and the chart that you have for your life is going to enrich and nourish your life. What I found when I accepted a job at a home, the approved home on West Wilson Avenue in Chicago, was that I met people, adults living with challenges and disabilities, who brightened the world, who opened their hearts to each other, who welcomed me into their circle of love and care and concern. And I began to value and appreciate the ingenuity, the sheer audacity, the power, the energy they brought to their lives every day. And it never ceased to inspire me. It taught me that you always have to be open to the world and let it change you. And I had looked for years for the right way to kind of write a tribute to the friendships that I made and people that I knew, and finally hit upon this novel. All I did was write a novel, and of course I hope it's a good one. But the people at Birch Family Services are the ones who truly deserve awards each and every day for the work they do with people who value them and value the work, and whose lives are enriched and empowered, and opens a door into fulfillment. I mean, you write a novel because you hope it'll open a door in your heart to that quality called empathy. And I think this is something that the people at Birch Family Services exemplify each and every day. And the fine programs that they have and the work that they do open the hearts of so many, and as I hope will open yours tonight, and remind us that we're all one human family and embrace each other. Thank you for this award, and thank you for inviting me.
At Birch Family Services, we understand that the people we support want the same things you and I may want. They want to feel productive and be doing something of value during the day, such as work. They also want to have social connections and to be involved in their community. They want to be more independent. Recognizing these essential needs, and in response to the growing number of young adults on the autism spectrum transitioning out of the education system, we launched New Frontier in 2012.
The New Frontier program is an opportunity to work with young adults on the spectrum and helping them get the full life that they want.
The program works with transition-age young adults with autism and developmental disabilities and their families to help them learn how to maximize their strengths to achieve their personal goals as they prepare for the next steps in their lives. Our services and facilitated workshops enable young adults to continue their educational journeys while developing the skills necessary to maintain long-term employment, healthy lifestyles, social connections, and increased independence. Because everybody wants a job, and employment often provides a key to enhanced self-esteem and greater independence, employment is a key focus of the program. New Frontier staff takes a strengths-based, person-centered approach to forge partnerships between employees and employers.
We not only worked on the application process, but they also, some of the people at Birch Family Services, they were coaching me on interview process.
I've held a few positions at different organizations, from Riverside Church to PricewaterhouseCoopers to Goldman Sachs.
In turn, New Frontier introduces its corporate partners to enthusiastic and prospective employees who can provide significant contributions to the workplace, whether through paid employment, internships, or volunteer opportunities. Even still, Birch understands the obstacles that stand in the way of employment. Today, people with autism and with developmental disabilities face about an 80% unemployment rate, which is unacceptable. That's why, in 2018, we launched our Corporate Advisory Network to engage corporations who believed in the principles of diversity and inclusion for people with developmental disabilities, not as any type of accommodation, but as an accessibility to opportunity. Today, we have individuals who are working in museums and other cultural institutions. We have people working in the financial industry with roles in technology and data analysis. We have people working in more frontline types of jobs, such as retail and messenger positions. At Birch, we're really excited about the future of this program, which enables us to ensure that individuals with autism and developmental disabilities continue to secure employment, build relationships through social connections, maintain health and wellness, and be more independent in their living experiences.
And thank you to everyone, to all of you, for taking time out of your very busy schedules and being a part of this wonderful night tonight. We really appreciate it. Also to all of you who have donated, and really most importantly, to the people who share their personal stories. As a news reporter, I am always amazed when people share their personal stories, their pain, their struggles, and it's always in the hopes of being able to help somebody else. So you sharing your stories tonight, that is hopefully what it will do. And I have great respect for anybody who opens up and lets the world hear what their personal pain and struggles are. So thank you very much for that. So what a night. Thank you all very much again for being a part of this. I hope you are as moved and inspired as I have been by what I have seen and I have heard. And by the way, this isn't just over now. I mean, this has all been recorded, so you can actually see tonight's program on Birch's website. You can take a look, and you can also consider sharing these recordings with your friends or your colleagues, because this information might end up helping them out, their families out, or they might be interested in donating to help Birch provide the much needed services that it provides. So please take a look at some of these recordings and share them with your friends, your family, and your colleagues. And in closing, I'm going to say what I say every day, probably 50 different times since March. I wish you all good health. Please stay healthy. And I look forward to the day where we can all be back in the same room again, face to face, and sharing this experience together. That day will definitely come, and I'm looking forward to it. I know you are too. Right now, you're invited to stick around for the closing slideshow. And also remember, this is very important, please continue chatting. Chat, chat, chat. Thank you all very much. Stay healthy and have a good night.
I'm just jumping in to wish you all a good night. Thank you for joining us. And remind people that anybody who's made a donation above a certain amount is invited to a special Q&A with me that's happening in just a few minutes. So I hope to see you there, and on behalf of Birch Family Services, thank you very much for your support for important work.